couple things. First of all, he's frustrated that it's still ongoing, especially when you consider the midterms are not that far away. I think the second frustration, according to White House officials, is this idea of a disparate investigative approach between so-called Trump ties with Russia, which the White House says does not exist, and what we know about the ties between Russians and funding of the Steele dossier and the Hillary Clinton campaign. Let me take you to Twitter. The president tries to lay it out once again, and you can really sense the frustration, Sandra, as the president continues to sort of walk you through his mindset on this. He may not be helping himself, but as I take you to Twitter, let me share just a couple of tweets that he has this morning. He says, disgraced and discredited Bob Mueller and his whole group of angry Democrat thugs spent over 30 hours with White House counsel, there's the spelling, only with my approval for purposes of transparency. Anybody needing that much time when they know there's no Russian collusion is just someone looking for trouble. They are enjoying ruining people's lives and refuse to look at the real corruption on the Democratic side, the lies, the firings, the deleted emails, and so much more. Mueller's angry Dems are looking to impact the election. They are a national disgrace. Now, all this, of course, as we've learned that White House counsel Don McGahn gave a wide-ranging interview to the Mueller team. White House says, look, we don't know what Mr. McGahn says, although the president was on Twitter fairly quickly proclaiming that McGahn is, quote, no rat. Now, for his part, the special counsel continues to push for more information on the Trump orbit and specifically about possible obstruction. Though to date, there's been no proof of the president or anyone in his campaign colluding specifically with Russians to impact the election. Certainly not here at the White House. That's their perspective, Sandra.
Well, Kevin, former CIA Director John Brennan is now threatening to sue to get back his security clearance. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, he is threatening to do this, but understand from the White House's perspective, this is a privilege. This is a courtesy to have a security clearance. So they say there's nothing to sue here. By the way, there's no legal precedent for him to sort of draw on or to point to, and so since there's no case law to support his position, they think this is going nowhere. But they are also talking about a number of people in the administration, frankly, even beyond the president, I should point out, who are convinced that Brennan's behavior warranted the termination of that privilege. Listen here.
It was my view at the time that he and others in the Obama administration were politicizing intelligence. I think that's a very dangerous thing to do. And I think especially for senior intelligence officials, career intelligence officials who come out of the government, to keep that wall of separation between intelligence and policy. And I don't think Brennan has followed that. And, you know, whether he actually used classified information, I think people will be able to determine.
National Security Advisor John Bolton right there. Meanwhile, over the weekend, Mr. Brennan defended his outspoken tone.
I've been speaking out rather forcefully because I believe it's important to do so. I don't believe I'm being political at all. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. And many members of the Congress over the years who have security clearances have spoken out rather forcefully against whoever was in the Oval Office if they weren't from the same political party. So now as a private citizen, they're telling me that I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I just fundamentally disagree with them.
Fundamentally disagreeing is Mr. Brennan right there. This, of course, after the letter that we talked about at the end of last week, more than 175 former intelligence officials all siding with this idea that they disagree with the president's decision to revoke Brennan's clearance. You saw the letter, of course, that we shared with you on Friday. Very interesting start to the week. No surprises yet, but of course it's early. Back to you.
Isn't it always? Kevin Corke at the White House for us. Thank you.